Shabaka is the name of a pharaoh that lived 700 BC, and he is known for unifying Africa at a time when it was known for great strife. A lot of the civilizational efforts of Africa had fallen at this time. People were fighting each other. There was a lot of unrest. And Shabaka then took ownership and leadership over the areas that we used to call Kemet, Kush, and Nubia, and unified them. I think it's with the understanding of the necessity of leadership in the time of difficulty that we also then decided to name a project after Shabaka, and we named it Shabaka, Men of Africa. My name is Buntu, and I helped to take that initiative to start Shabaka, Men of Africa. This was around 2007, 2008. And the background to how it came about was that as somebody who has worked for a very long time in youth and communities within a Pan-African setting, we discovered that a lot of men have questions and things they want to discuss, but there seems to be no platform where this discussion can be held. It seems like the voice of men should remain quiet about a lot of subjects. And the more we started to open up these platforms and events and workshops, it was affirmed time and time again that a lot of African men have this need to put on the table some issues that they go through. Now, some of the issues that African men struggle with today are related to the many expectations to what is a real African man. A real African man is supposed to provide for his family, is supposed to get married, supposed to have children, supposed to have some material possessions, like a car, a house, a few material possessions that can kind of show off his wealth. That's what is expected by an African man in the so-called modern era. And I think the trouble comes with the realization that a lot of men cannot necessarily attain this, because unemployment is a huge problem around Africa and the African diaspora. We don't have a large amount of wealth to our disposal in African communities. So many of the expectations that African men are supposed to fulfill are actually unavailable. And that means that since we haven't really lowered the expectations, the expectations have maybe even gotten more intense. So men being confronted with this expectation then also start to question themselves. Am I really an African man if I don't have access to these notions and aspects of power? Can I really call myself an African man? Today we see that many African men struggle with issues of substance abuse, violence, domestic abuse, economic poverty, issues of anger, issues of, we even see in some parts of the African world that men are involved in violence, sometimes even against themselves. Some people decide to take their own lives. We want Shabaka to be a platform that addresses these issues in a critical way, but also in a solution-oriented way. So if I should give a picture, what happens at a Shabaka session? We have different interventions. One is what we call the black man's Lekgotla. Lekgotla is actually a South African word which explains a council meeting. It's a meeting of importance to the community. So we provide a space, men come into this space, and we have a very critical engagement. We laugh, we joke, it's very vibey. It's not just a very intellectual discussion, but we interrogate ourselves. We take a very honest, brutally honest look at ourselves. Who are we as African men? And we challenge each other. What is your view on this? How have you dealt with this problem situation? Do you think there's a different way of looking at a particular problem? And the problems we discuss are really across the board. It starts with the definition of who am I as an African man? What is African marriage? What does it mean to be an African father? All these things. So we have critical discussions about this.
when they actually inspire. So, once you find that you check us in myself,
and we want to create an alternative to TV and music videos and these stereotypical male role models that are out there.